This is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, Attorney General says ILO Commission of Inquiry won't be good for the country. Emergency areas declared to limit the spread of termites in Lautoka and Lambasa. And Digicel says rollout of digital TV to Fiji is an option. But first, we apologize for the slight delay. It was due to a technical error on our side. However, leading our bulletin tonight, Attorney General Said Qayyum says any move by the International Labour Organization to have a commission of inquiry would be detrimental to Fiji. Said Qayyum made the statement at the ACP-EU Joint Parliamentary Assembly, which concluded in Suva yesterday. Ali Kimbia has more.
Attorney General Said Qayyum told delegates the government is currently taking measures to deal with concerns raised by the International Labour Organization.
Of course not, we should not have a commission inquiry, because we believe with the current amendments that have taken place that we are now compliant with the core ILO conventions. Now, a commission of inquiry is not something you just sort of flick out of the air. There's only been about 8 to 10 commission of inquiries in the history of the ILO.
Said Qayyum says people should understand the effects of having a commission of inquiry.
But for a country like Fiji, it can have huge ramifications. If, for example, I know that there is no legal requirement that if there is a commission of inquiry, therefore people should stop trading with us. But obviously pressure can be put on trading partners not to trade with Fiji. It can have a disastrous effect.
Said Qayyum told the Assembly that in Fiji, union leaders are often connected to political movements and try to further their political cause by using their union connections. The ILO will decide in November whether to call a commission of inquiry into workers' affairs in the country. The ILO governing body will take into consideration recent developments to amend the Employment Relations Promulgation. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Fiji women's rights movement has backed calls from various unions to review provisions for essential services in the Employment Relations Amendment Bill. The NGO made presentations before the Parliamentary Committee on Justice, Law and Human Rights. Team Leader for Gender and Transitional Justice, Michelle Reddy, presented the Fiji women's rights movement's views, saying the definition of essential services is too broad.
Certain services that do fall under classification of being essential. So what we are recommending is that the Standing Committee re-look at the listing under Schedule 7 and also the expanded listing under the bill and provide a mechanism or procedure for actually determining whether that industry or service is actually essential.
On the ERP Amendment Bill in tomorrow. The districts of Lautoka and Lambasa have been declared emergency areas to limit the spread of Asian subterranean termites. The declaration will be enforced for the next 6 months. Movement of all stages of termites, including eggs or any materials hosting eggs into or out of the declared biosecurity emergency areas, is strictly prohibited. Any person who violates the declaration commits an offence and shall be liable to the penalties as per the Biosecurity Promulgation 2008. The declarations have been published in the Government Gazette. Telecommunications company Digicel has moved into digital television and started a pilot program for its Pacific-wide platform in Papua New Guinea. Regional CEO Michael Murphy says the rollout to Fiji is an opportunity they're looking into. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Digital television is the future of the small screen. Regional CEO of telecommunications provider Digicel, Michael Murphy, says PNG is currently their testing ground for a Pacific-wide service. Currently, 500,000 people are able to access their service already.
So at the moment, we've our service can provide service to over almost from a terrestrial perspective almost over 500,000 people. Okay. We also have launched in the past couple of weeks our DTH service, which is similar to the Sky Pacific service. So it's basically service over a dish, which is just launched in PNG. So basically from almost the month of May onwards, let's say June onwards, we can now actually provide service to the whole country.
Adding to their indelible footprint in the region, Murphy says the rollout to the Fijian market is an opportunity to be exploited and one that may be done with a local player.
So from our perspective, we don't have any direct link with Sky Pacific. But obviously, if something was to happen in the future, or we got the opportunity to actually launch a service in Fiji, we'd actually look at that aggressively.
Under the Media Industry Development Decree 2010, all media organizations must be owned 90% by Fiji nationals who reside in Fiji. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Too many stray dogs are a problem for the country. The Agriculture Ministry says it needs to work with animal welfare organizations to curb canine overpopulation. Akusita Tale has more.
Stray dogs are part of the overpopulation that the ministry is talking about. Director for Animal Health and Production, Thomas Itunambuna, says other dogs wandering the streets have owners and are well fed.
You drive past places where you don't normally see them in the past. Now you can see, pack of dogs just enjoying the sun and enjoying the place where they are. And that's, to us, is indication that, not only the stray component is an issue, but the overpopulation, and that we cannot manage them well.
Aside from strays being a humane issue, it is also a health issue. Rabies, dog bites and diseases from dog bites are predominant in the stray dog population.
And it does not mean that we won't have it. Rabies is a disease that can be very harmful to humans when they get bitten from dogs who have rabies. And because we don't have it, does not mean we will not have it forever. We will need to do something now to our population.
Once they start to
Dr. Joe Olva, a vet at Vet Essentials in Lami, says dogs should be nurtured well, especially the males.
Groups, the more dogs you get together, the more trouble there is. So they tear into more trash, they spread more disease in their feces, they're trying to breed females, so they're looking out for females, getting into fights, and any person, child, who crosses their path is going to get the bite that might be intended for another dog.
It takes everyone's efforts and not just animal welfare organizations to bring the dog population under control. As Gandhi once said, roving dogs do not indicate compassion or civilization in a society. They betray instead the ignorance and lethargy of its members. That means that we should keep them and treat them with respect as we do for companions and never allow them to roam about. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, 2015 crushing season kicks off at Lambasa Sugar Mill.
If you just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker.
Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark.
Over 2 million tonnes of sugarcane is expected to be crushed at the 4 main mills this year, producing over 240,000 tonnes of sugar. The Lambasa sugar mill was the first to begin crushing yesterday. Its target is 70,000 tonnes of sugar this season. FSC Executive Chair Abdul Khan says their basic strategy is to get a consistent supply of good quality cane to achieve their target. Khan says it is also important to ensure that all the mills are running reliably. The Rarawai mill in Ba is expected to start crushing on Tuesday. Penang mill in Rakiraki is scheduled to start on Tuesday week, while Lautoka will start crushing on the 1st of July. 3 people, including 2 student nurses, have been admitted to Lambasa Hospital after an accident at Dongirloa. One of the student nurses lost her unborn baby, while the unborn child of the other pregnant student is safe. They were passengers returning from Mombasa to the Dhongelore nursing station in a minivan when it veered off the road and into a ditch yesterday afternoon. Police spokesperson Ananai Soro says the minivan driver will be questioned soon. Helping citizens and communities effectively connect with government to access services has been the aim of a knowledge fair that was held in Suva today. Organised by the European Union and the United Nations Development Programme, the forum brought together about 25 different groups who have benefited from the grants given out by the EU and UNDP. Ellen Stahls has more.
Beneficiaries of grants from the EU and UNDP gathered at the Civic Centre in Suva to share their knowledge about how their communities have overcome obstacles and helped others do the same. The initiative has helped the groups and village communities with grants that have enabled them to solve problems they are facing. These include access to electricity or running water for their communities.
We helped them in an induction workshop where they learned how to write a proposal, how to develop a budget, how to acquit for the funds.
Evita Bosiniwanga is thankful for the support by the EU and UNDP and recognizes the need to increase consultation with landowners in his ministry.
We are learning these skills through NDP's support. Dispute resolution skills, and just lately, I think last month, negotiation skills.
The Knowledge Fair hopes to build a more vibrant Fiji by equipping people with the skills and knowledge to improve their lives and develop their communities. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
Minister for Tourism Fayaz Koya says they are in no rush to appoint a chief executive officer for Tourism Fiji. They have been without a CEO for over a year following the departure of Rick Hamilton in May 2014. Tourism Fiji had selected a CEO after advertising the role, but the applicant did not accept the position. Truman Bradley, who is the new chairman, is currently overlooking Tourism Fiji.
At the moment, currently we've got the executive chairman, Truman Bradley. He's done a great job already so far, and he's there. And then we've got somebody in place who's doing a job. Eventually, it will happen. Yes, we will appoint a CEO, but it's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. So.
The second Fijian Tourism Expo concluded this afternoon, and Tourism Fiji is now looking to a big event next year. Preparation has begun to prepare the new venue for the Vodafone Hibiscus Festival. It will be held at the Carpenters Foreshore from August 14th to the 22nd. Chanel Sivan visited the new site and filed this report.
With about 2 months away from the Vodafone Hibiscus Festival, the organizer, the Hibiscus Events Group, is challenged with logistical arrangements for a new site. The group's chairman, Hirdesh Prasad, says they are ready to transform this piece of land into a shrine of entertainment for a week.
It's a huge property, it's 10.3 acres, and there's a lot of work needs to be done. At the present moment, my people are cutting grasses, and we'll be getting assistance from Suva City Council and Fiji Resource Authority in leveling the ground.
Prasad is optimistic about the new location, saying they will spend about $15,000 to $20,000 to give a new look.
Entry and exit areas that needs to be sealed, so it's convenient for the people to come in and out. And there are places that needs to be filled in with soil and sand. That's all needed to be done.
So far, 48 food vendors have booked stalls. Another 20 are still to be sold. There are also 15 flea market stalls for sale. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
The month of Ramadan began today, and Muslims will be fasting from sunrise to sunset during this period. For Muslims, Ramadan is a holy month dedicated to prayer, Quran recitation, introspection and fasting during the daylight hours. The fast is intended to bring the faithful closer to God and to remind them of the suffering of those less fortunate.
Observe the fasting, follow all the commandments of Allah according to the preaching of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Try to take as much as possible benefits from this blessing months.
Muslims will celebrate Eid al-Fitr, the festival of breaking of the fast at the end of Ramadan. Sports now, here's Jamie.
Nakazaki, and good evening. Coming up, Nandi Rugby out to maintain its unbeaten run in the Skipper Cup, and former Fiji Sevens rep Tuta Lutumailangi on track to feature for the Fiji Mbati at the Pacific Games. This and more after the break.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Boulevard. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Vodafone Flying Fijians coach John McKee has named the 40-member squad that will begin camp on July 1st in Suva. The squad boasts a wealth of experience in Canterbury Crusaders Nemani Nandolo, Leicester Tigers Vereniki Ngoneva and Akapusingera. 9 players are locally based, coming through the Telecom Fiji Warriors side, while Serma Mbai, Netani Tale and Napoleon Inalanga among key players who will join the squad later next month.
It is a training squad, it's not a team announcement. There are still some players who are tied up in Super Rugby competition. There's some players who are in the top 14 final last week, and so some players are not included in this initial group. But you'll see, I think we've got a very good pool of top class players to choose from. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks.
Meanwhile, the Flying Fijians take on the Maori All Blacks on July 11th at the NZ Stadium. The Nandi Rugby side will be banking on fullback Setereki Tuiduvu when it takes on Overlau in the 5th round of the Skipper Cup this week. The 19-year-old scored a try and kicked 3 conversions in the 26-3 win over Northland last week. Team manager Jeff Tamata says Tuiduvu has shown a lot of potential and plays a key role for Nandi.
He was one of the standout performers from our last 4 games, and he's been really consistent. And hopefully this Saturday too, he'll be able to deliver.
The Nandi versus Overlau match will be played at Nassau Park at 3 p.m. this Saturday. Nandi going to that match as one of 2 undefeated teams in the Skipper Cup. The neighbours Nandi club is gunning for a strong finish at the 8th Mbula FM volleyball tournament next week. The club will feature teams in both the men's and women's competition for the 2-day tournament. Josephine Avula has more.
After ranking in 5th place at the Mattsville Snipers volleyball tournament earlier this month, the neighbours are working on their weak areas prior to the Mbula FM volleyball tournament.
They needed to work out on their defense mostly. The team is a good team. It's based on experienced players mostly, and we'll be depending on that, our experience.
The team knows they're in for a tough competition.
I have advised the neighbours team that it wouldn't be easy. They're playing against the big dogs from Suva and likewise the team from Lutoka.
The side will be fielding 13 players each for the men's and women's team, and they are pooled with Drifters, Rebels and Flames at the competition. The Mbula FM volleyball tournament will be held on the 26th and 27th at the FMF Gymnasium in Suva. Josephine Avula, FBC Sports.
The Suva Marathon received a boost from Carpenters Fiji Limited today when it signed on as the major sponsor for the next 3 years. The event will now be known as the Island Chill Suva Marathon. Organizers believe such support will go a long way in assisting the club's effort to raise awareness about healthy living and combating non-communicable diseases.
An event for Suva, but for Fiji really, and hopefully, making sure that this becomes a premier running event.
Maybe this year, maybe still too early because it's going to take place on August 8th. But next year, I'm sure we will have a lot of international runners who will be coming here.
The Suva Marathon will be held on the 8th of August, starting and finishing at My Suva Park in Assisi. Former Fiji Sevens rep Tuta Lutumailangi is expected to play a key role in the Fiji Mbati Nines medal hunt at the Pacific Games next month. The code hopper is a sure call-up for the playmaker's role, and officials are banking on his tactical skills for a podium finish. Talent Dadakadaka reports.
The Fiji Mbati 9's team has been in camp for the past couple of weeks, preparing themselves for nothing short than a gold medal win in the Pacific Games. Among the 17 players in the squad was a familiar face in former national sevens rep Chuta Lutamilangi, who is expected to offer the much-needed boost to the team's set pieces.
We've been watching him during the 9th tournament. Again, on our final trials here in Suva. He's fit, and we also ask him, and he says he's keen to represent Fiji again in this SPG tournament.
The Mbati will find it hard to defend the gold medal they won in 2007, especially against the hosts who participated in the Queensland Cup in Australia this year.
We're also looking at Tonga and Samoa. I think these three countries will be giving us a good battle. Papua New Guinea, they're bringing on the Q Cup players, and we will be going there for gold.
The Fiji Mbati 9's team begins its gold medal quest on July 11th in what is expected to be a battle royale against the best in the Pacific. Talent Dadakadaka, FBC Sports.
Yeah, that's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
Fiji Coffee is hitting two birds with one stone at the Fiji Tourism Expo in Nadi. The company is using the expo to promote its coffee as well as raise funds for cancer patients. Fiji Coffee General Manager Philip Lowe says every visitor to their booth receives a free coffee and is asked to contribute a gold-coloured coin toward the cause.
Everything we do here today, we want to serve a great coffee, not just a good coffee, to the people here, showcase Fiji Coffee, but also at the same token, like I said before, fundraise and make it a worthwhile purpose, an event.
Lowe says all the proceeds will go to the Fiji Cancer Society. Fiji Coffee has outlets in Lami and Namaka and Nadi. A strong wind warning is in force for Fiji. Strong southeast winds with average speeds of 45 to 55 kilometers an hour hit many areas today. It was cloudy with some light rain in the east, sunny across much of the west. Temperatures: Lautoka topped the charts with 30, while Suva managed only 25. We can expect another cool night tonight. And tomorrow should see lighter winds and sunshine in the west with cloudy skies and a chance of showers in the east once again. Further outlook: expect some improvement on Saturday for mariners. The seas are rough to extremely rough, so take care. And the main points again. The government says any move by the International Labour Organization to hold a commission of inquiry into workers' affairs will be detrimental to the country. The Fiji women's rights movement has backed calls by various unions to review provisions for essential services in the Employment Relations Amendment Bill. And the districts of Lautoka and Lambasa have been declared emergency areas to limit the spread of Asian subterranean termites. To our poll question for this week, we're asking, should fines for traffic offences be increased? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply #FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night.